All right, so I am excited to share with you kind of a year 5 recap. So the College Access Network, the planning for the network started in 2012, and then we launched in 2015. So we've come a long way, and there's some very exciting pieces that I'd like to share with you. First off, a focus on our vision. For those of you who haven't seen mission and vision, we'd like to have Oceana County encouraging all students to pursue and complete education and training beyond high school. There's a lot of reasons for this, but I'll get to later in the conversation. We want to build a culture in Oceana County that's focused on post-secondary education, awareness, access, and attainment, helping our students understand a path that might be fitting for them. But before we start any discussion, we always want to clarify that when we talk about college or the word college, we are encompassing all post-secondary education. So that includes short-term credentials that might be gained at a community college or otherwise, any training beyond high school that results in the student receiving a high-quality credential. So skilled trades training, as well as your typical associate's degrees and bachelor's degree paths. So there are many paths to students, and that's one of our main messages in every conversation we have with any students or any partners, is that this includes a path that's unique for the student, and we must present all the options to them and help them understand what those high demand jobs are going to be, whether it's through an apprenticeship program, a certificate program, skilled trades training, associate's, bachelor's degrees, and many more options. There's a lot of different ways to go. And it's important that we don't pose one as more valuable or a better path than others, but showing them all the options. So I just want to bring you through, we have 3 action teams within our community. We have about 10 to 20 folks from our community who are the boots on the ground in this work, who work together. And in the past 5 years, we've been able to build some relationships between people as well as organizations in the community to really move forward on a lot of initiatives that are helping to reduce barriers for students. So the first I'm going to talk about is the College and Career Action Team. One of the initiatives that we focus on is students in the workplace. This initiative started 8 years ago, starting just with GHSP as the initial business, where about 10 students went to tour to see what types of jobs and careers and what the plant looks like and what they do there. This is really exciting that we've now grown to include over 12 organizations and businesses that students have the option to tour. And this reaches about 130 students or more per year, where they go right into those businesses. They hear directly from those folks that are working in those career pathways of their interest. And we've heard repeatedly from students that this is a really impactful way for them to understand what different types of careers are even out there. So really exciting. This has been paused or some moved to virtual this year. All of these photos are from past years, but really helpful to students, as well as counselors and school administration share that this is one of the best or most impactful opportunities that's come from the College Access Network relationships, is allowing all students the opportunity to go out and learn and understand from community members. So next is campus visits, and while this seems somewhat trivial, when we found out 5 years ago through surveys with our seniors that that there were about 25% of our seniors who had never stepped foot on a college campus or a training center campus. Very difficult for us to encourage them to pursue higher education if they don't understand even the location or the spot or where they would be doing that or what that looks like or how they might fit in. So these campus visit opportunities, again, this was paused for this year, but last year, the last 5 years, we've brought a school bus from all of the 4 schools in with all of the juniors, and they shuffle on and off the buses in the morning, and we ship them off to have the opportunity to visit one of 5 or 6 different campuses, and this has been really impactful to our students as well. Next up, many of you are familiar with our College and Career Fair. This will be our 6th annual that we'll be holding this year. We've also increased the amount of businesses and training centers and colleges who participate in this. And this is just an excellent hands-on opportunity for all the juniors, again, to be bused in to Shelby High School. And they have the opportunity to connect with folks from our community as well as college representatives to learn about what the options are for college and career. This year, this will be held virtually on February 17th. We have a great mix of businesses and colleges that are all signed up, and we'll be going into the classrooms talking with juniors within the next week or so to, help them understand how they can best learn from this virtual opportunity. Another program that was added last year that again will be virtual this year, but this was the first opportunity for 8th and 9th graders, 8th or 9th graders from Oceana to participate in another career exploration opportunity called My Career Quest. And this is organized by Michigan Works West Central. There was many Oceana businesses that participated, and similar to the college and career fair, but extremely hands-on. So you'll see that students are doing something at every single booth. And this is just another opportunity for them to learn about their community and the potential careers within the community. The students love the hands-on, real high energy opportunities from the fair. Again, this will be held virtually this year, but excited to get back to in person for these large scale events, hopefully next year. So our mentoring program, another program that has gained great traction, started off as a pilot at Shelby High School, but engaging business professionals from our community with juniors as they're starting to think about goal setting and they're starting to think about career exploration and that type of thing. Feedback that we heard from students regularly was that it was great to have all this information in front of them from these events that we were holding, but the time allotted for them to sit down and really talk through what it looks like what a path looks like for them with an adult was limited. While we have fantastic counseling staff in all of our schools, and it is National Counseling Week, just so you know, right now, we also have a college advisor that meets with students, but this opportunity was for mentors from 5 different businesses to come in and work with these juniors for an 8-week session. And they talked about many different things. One of the ones that students responded to the most and business professionals were a little bit surprised by is one of the sessions they were focusing on writing a professional email. So while that was not one that we expected them to find most beneficial, the students really seemed to enjoy learning that type of thing from professionals from our community. And when I say professionals, it was really interesting to hit with this mentoring program is that these were folks from all different walks of life and all different paths from 5 local businesses. It wasn't just necessarily the business leaders directly in that. And that was really helpful for students to hear and learn from them. So we hope to get back to this in the next year. And as well add in an opportunity for Pentwater and Walkerville students with this mentoring program. Our next action team is focused specifically on financial readiness, so not as exciting as some of the other projects, but very, very important nonetheless. A lot of what we do with this action team is just getting information out there and helping students and families understand the financial options for paying for college. There are a lot of myths and misconceptions out there, which make it so that many families just don't even talk about college as an option for their students because they think they can't afford it. However, there are paths to take to help to reduce the costs of college. So a lot of what we do, again, is information sharing. We just last week or earlier this week sent home letters to all senior families, helping them understand how to apply for the FAFSA and all those types of things. Scholarships is a huge focus here. We work directly with scholarship providers such as the Community Foundation and getting information out and connecting with students directly about that. So our third action team is the Hispanic Community Outreach Action Team. When we disaggregate our data and we take a look at how many seniors are enrolling in post-secondary education within 1 year after high school, and we look at it through the lens of race and ethnicity, we find that starting 5 years ago, our Hispanic students were engaging in opportunities at 15 to 20% less of a rate than their cohorts. And that's unacceptable when we know that we have 40 to 45% of our students in the Oceana community who are of Hispanic background. It's important for us to dig in and recognize what some of those unique barriers might be to this population. So this has been a great action team to really dig in and look at and ask and talk to families and students and understand some of the issues that they might have or barriers they might have that are unique. A lot of those stem from these students being the first in their family to go to college. And then there's many fears around the documentation status of either the student or the family member, but helping them understand that it is possible for undocumented students to go to college and or students who have undocumented family members. So there's a lot of unique challenges and barriers. Another main challenge with this group of folks is that students have a hard time kind of articulating what it is that they want to do to their family members because there's not resources that are available in Spanish, and many of their family members may only speak or speak limited English. So that's been another piece. We make sure to translate everything that we do and provide bilingual support to all students and families. So the next thing that we've had going on that is hugely impactful is our Advise Michigan program. We have an advisor that serves half-time in Shelby High School and half-time in Hart High School. It's been a really excellent opportunity. This year we have Emma Urbanski, who is serving for her second year in this program, and she works directly with high school, with seniors mostly, but also with juniors, and helping them navigate the process towards whatever their unique path is. So Emma works directly in the offices of the counselors and works very, very closely with the counseling staff, just providing some more human resource towards supporting students. It's a confusing path for any of you who have gone through applying and getting a student off to college or post-secondary. So the relationships that have been built throughout the last 5 years allowed us to make a quick transition that we needed to make last fall and help to celebrate and support those seniors, the graduating class of 2020. You know, as you know, their senior year ended quite strangely, but it allowed us to celebrate them, and we had slideshows with all seniors explaining what they're doing and where they were headed. That was shared many different ways, but our business partners were a unique partner in that, and they shared those celebrations of students within their lunchrooms. And so in break rooms within businesses across the county, we're able to celebrate and share with, you know, what those students were doing, as well as share information about college and career. So again, the relationships that we had built with the College Access Network are allowing us to kind of navigate this unique territory to still support students towards their plans for this year. So the last thing I need to mention that's really, really important is policy and advocacy. So working with our local legislators in our state to understand and navigate through how do we increase the amount of folks in our communities that have post-secondary education. Most of you may have heard of the Futures for Frontliners program, which was released to support scholarships to support essential workers, those who were working during the first shutdown during the pandemic last spring. Over 120,000 Michiganders have taken up that opportunity, with 260 of those being from Oceana County. Which is really exciting. This helps to cover tuition for either a GED, a certificate, or an associate's degree. And then next up, that actually was just released today, you guys are some of the first to be hearing about it, is the, oh dear, where did it go? There it is. The Michigan Reconnect program is an extension or an addition on to the Futures for Frontliners. And this was just released today. This allows any adult in Michigan who does not already hold a high quality certificate or degree to go to community college for free. They also can use funds to go towards skilled training centers. But this is something that was just released today. So I would encourage you to look this up. But in Michigan, 70% of jobs are going to require post-secondary credentials by 2030. Unfortunately, Michigan is the 6th worst in the country as far as state appropriated per capita financial aid. So the cost of college has really dramatically increased that amount that the student must provide, as well as the increases in tuition. So there's a lot of work to be done to ensure that we have folks in our state who have the training that's needed, not only for themselves to be able to move forward and move out of poverty, but also for our businesses and our economy in general overall. It's really important that we ensure that people are getting trained and we have the skilled workforce that we need. So there's a lot of things that are kind of coming, but this policy and advocacy is really important to be working with and talking to our legislators about issues around post-secondary. So next, I just want to share, what can you do? So as a community member who may not be engaged necessarily with our leadership team or one of our action teams, what is it that you can do? So first off, obviously, you can always contribute financially. The College Access Network is supported only by grants and donations. So it's a kind of a routine reach out for money to support the in general, but also creating scholarship funds, which I know the Rotary in overall has, but personal scholarship funds for students to help them. Creating company tuition reimbursement programs. There's a lot of options for things like that. Or be a doer, join an action team, join the advocating for educational policy. One of the things that our legislators say routinely over and over again, Alyssa, if we don't hear from our constituents about the importance of these components, then we can't do anything about it. So that's another piece that we have an opportunity to advocate. Starting student success initiatives or any type of focus on higher education at your church or service organization is always a plus. But one of the biggest things that we can all be doing is talking about the importance of higher education, whether that's with students or with their families or within our social circles. But college is important for all of us. It's necessary for students to be able to navigate after high school. They need education after high school, no matter what the path that's right for them, they need education. And so that talking about it and spreading the word and helping people understand the importance of college or post-secondary education is a huge piece. And lastly, you can connect with us and share resources on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all of those places, but helping to share or comment or have conversations virtually about college and post-secondary is really important for, again, not only our students, but our families to understand.